Welcome back, YouTube viewers, to the 2009 Cleveland Browns Bash. I'm your host, AJ, here with the AFC and NFC Championship Game edition of the show. And we had some exciting football games last week in the divisional round. Although, looking at the scores, you would really only think one was exciting, but there were some good games, and a lot of spankings, true. On Saturday, the Saints beat the Cardinals 45-14, and the Colts beat the Ravens 20-3. Then on Sunday, the Vikings beat the Cowboys 34-3, while the Jets upset the Chargers in San Diego 17-14, and that was definitely a great game to watch. So as far as my picks go, I once again went 2-0 on Saturday and 0-2 on Sunday for another mediocre record of 2-2. I'm now 4-4 overall this season, and despite my great start last year when I started 6-2, I can still tie myself after the conference title games if I go 2-0, because remember last season I had some bad picks in the title games and I went 0-2, so I was actually 6-4 entering the Super Bowl. So if I can nail both of my picks this week, I will also be 6-4 at that same point. So, getting started off here, we have some very, very cool matchups for the conference title games. First off, in the AFC, we have the Indianapolis Colts hosting the New York Jets, and I really like this game because, unlike its NFC counterpart, there's a lot of history behind it, and obviously, back in Super Bowl III, Joe Namath's Jets shocked the Baltimore Colts 16-7 to win their only championship throughout that franchise's history, and so they will be meeting this weekend, and it will be the first time ever that a conference title game has featured a past Super Bowl matchup, and it will also be the first time that two first-year head coaches will meet in a conference title game as well. The Colts' Jim Caldwell and the Jets' Rex Ryan. So, getting into the game, the Colts and Jets have met 68 times throughout their history, and the Colts have won 40 of those. But in the two that mattered the most, which were in the playoffs, the Jets won both of those, as I said, back in Super Bowl III, and also a few years back in 2003, the Jets just spanked the Colts 41-0. But that Colts team is not the Colts team that we know today, which is like a well-oiled machine, and I just don't know if the Jets have enough to stop them. They do have the top-ranked defense and total defense and scoring defense in the NFL from this regular season, but still the Colts are going to be definitely a tough matchup for the Jets. The Jets are trying to become the second straight team in the NFL to make the Super Bowl with a 9-7 record. The Cardinals did it last season, and I respect the Jets a lot. I picked them against Cincinnati a couple weeks ago. I did not pick them last week against the Chargers, but after seeing what they could do, I definitely give them a chance this weekend. But, I really feel like that the Colts have not only the home field, but I think they have what it takes. And, back in Week 16 when they pulled their starters, I realized that had they kept trying and beaten the Jets, they might have a different matchup this week. The playoff field could have looked totally different. It would have looked totally different. And I think that for the Colts it was actually the better decision, though, because had they kept their starters in the game and beaten the Jets, then they'd have to be trying to beat them for a second straight time in a short amount of time. That's never easy. And also, if they left their starters in and lost, that would give the Jets even more confidence than they already have. I'm sure they have a lot of confidence right now anyway. But I think it was the right decision for the Colts, and I think that they will get it done this weekend. I'm picking the Colts to beat the Jets and advance to the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game. And that's a very tough pick for me because I think that the Jets, like I said, I respect them a lot. And, rookie quarterback Mark Sanchez, he has definitely held his own. And, after a lot of criticism, too, New York is not an easy city to do bad in sports in. And, he struggled, but now the Jets have won 7 of their last 8, and he is definitely, as I said, held his own. But I'm going to pick the Indianapolis Colts despite that. Now moving on to the NFC title game, we have the New Orleans Saints hosting the Minnesota Vikings, and as I said, this game does not have as much history as the AFC title game, in that neither franchise has really done much to build their histories throughout their histories, and the Minnesota Vikings have made 4 Super Bowls. They lost all of them, and the New Orleans Saints have never even been to an NFL championship game, Super Bowl or not, and the furthest that they've ever gotten was a few years back when they lost to the Bears in the NFC Championship game. So both of these teams building their histories as they go. This is a pretty intriguing matchup. You have 2 great quarterbacks battling it out, and Drew Brees and, of course, Brett Favre. And I think that this game is going to be another very potentially awesome game to watch. And as you know, Brett Favre, he is trying to win his 2nd Super Bowl, and he came out of retirement again, and here he is in the NFC Championship game. And then you have the Saints. You have Reggie Bush, electrifying player from USC, and he has been great in the playoffs. He's scored 4 touchdowns in 3 career games in the playoffs. Last week he had 2 of them, a 46-yard touchdown run and an 83-yard punt return for a touchdown. And both of these teams, as I said, just building their histories as they go. Just a great opportunity for both of them, and it's so hard for me to pick between them, because I really do think that this is going to be a competitive game. They've met 27 times in their histories, and the Vikings have won 20 of those 27, and they've met twice in the playoffs. The Vikings won both of those matchups as well, but despite history telling us that the Vikings may win this game, I think I'm going, well, I don't think, I've finally decided that I am going to pick the Saints in this game, and if I am right and they do win it, they will make their first ever Super Bowl, and that would be very exciting for the franchise. And it's just so tough because both of these teams, getting as far as they are right now and not having won much in their histories, it's so tough for me to pick one or the other, because I would just like to see them both win a championship, but I'm going to stick with the New Orleans Saints, as I said. So Saints and Colts, I picked both home teams. What a surprise. But I do think both matchups are going to be good. I don't think just because they're at home they're going to win. That's not why I picked them. It's going to be a very good weekend. And there's 2 potentially very interesting matchups for the Super Bowl. First off, the Colts and the Saints, which is the matchup that I predicted. These are the 2 teams that could have gone undefeated. A lot of people thought that they might. Most people see them as the 2 best teams in the NFL from this season. And, because of that, you want to see them meet in the championship game. And also the Jets and the Vikings, because as you know, Brett Favre played for the Jets last season, and now he's with the Vikings, and if they met in the Super Bowl, that would be very interesting as well. So it should be a very fun conference title game weekend here, and I'm excited to watch the games, and hopefully my picks, hopefully I do good. I do want to win my picks, so I'm 4-4. Hopefully I'll be 6-4 after this weekend. Like I said, I got the Colts and the Saints, and like I said, very exciting, and I'm happy to have a show to be able to talk about this with you guys in a situation like this when there is a lot of excitement building up. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in a couple weeks. I might do the show next weekend, a week earlier before the Super Bowl, but it'll be the last edition of the 2009 Cleveland Browns Bash, and I'll probably be back next season, but I'll talk more about that next week. Once again, thank you all for watching. I'm your host, AJ. This is the 2009 Cleveland Browns Bash, the AFC and NFC Championship Game edition of the show. I'll see you all next week.